I'm sorry, but I can't let this
Go ahead.
conversation.
Go ahead, Bill. Do it.
Oh, I'm going.
Tell me. What do you want to ask me?
I'm going to.
Yes.
I mean, always with respect, but to be talking about always American people and I mean, the Trump family has gotten really rich this first year in the White House.
And why is that?
Well, a lot of people would say because they're doing things that people are not supposed to be in government, who are in government doing,
who is
like
doing
starting
something
a
incorrect?
crypto company where people can funnel money and we don't know how it comes. I mean, it does look a lot like influence peddling. It really does. And their net worth has gone up a lot.
You want to know why my family got into cryptocurrency? It was because we were debanked. Because whenever you take the ability away from people to utilize a bank in the way that has been done in perpetuity for...
No bank would take your money?
Well, look at what they did to the Trump organization. Look what they did to my father-in-law. You know, my husband, Eric, runs the Trump organization. And pretty much overnight, he had banks say, you know what, we are unfortunately not going to be able to do business with you anymore. These are banks that had been, with the company for decades. You are talking about thousands of employees who need a paycheck. You're talking about utilities. You're talking about buildings. Like the whole scope of things comes out of a bank. And all of a sudden, overnight, you have to transfer all of that. Eric and I, when we got our house in Florida, we're basically told, yeah, we approved your mortgage. Oh, wait, we changed our mind. We're not gonna give you a mortgage. The things that happened to us.
This is recently?
This is in 2021. The things that happened to our family were really outrageous. And actually,
you couldn't get a mortgage in 2021?
Well, we had a mortgage, and then all of a sudden, it was denied. Yeah.
In Florida?
We were buying a house in Florida, but it was a big bank. If you read my husband's book, Under Siege, this is one of the reasons he wrote this book. But it was moment after moment like that, and we had a lot of friends who were starting to invest in the crypto space. Cryptocurrency is something that a lot of people like because you can't be debanked, because the government doesn't have any ability to say, you know what, we're not going to allow you to get your money out. It is basically autonomy for your money. And so my husband started really investigating and getting into the crypto space, and that's why our family got into it. It has absolutely nothing to do, and what person in government in our family has enriched themselves based off of this. The only people who are doing it are my husband and my brother.
Haven't they made millions on crypto coins?
They've made a lot of money for themselves, but my father-in-law's introduced a couple coins, but that's, I don't know the specifics on coins. I can tell you the company that my husband and brother-in-law are involved in has absolutely nothing to do with the federal government at all.
I mean,
but people, I'm sure, love to say that, Bill.
I'm not, well, and do reports on it. I mean, 60 Minutes did it last week. About a pardon that was given to the Binance. Is that the guy, the Chinese gentleman? You must have seen this story.
Yeah.
Okay, it does look, excuse me, like this administration more than any. Look, none of them are perfect. And
more than any?
Wait, I haven't said of what yet. More than any. In this regard, not that other administrations don't have their soft spot for people who are loyal to them. They are. This, more than any I've ever seen, and I've been covering this quite a long time, looks like you get one treatment if you're a friend of the president and one treatment if you don't. I mean, to go after someone for checking the wrong box on the mortgage application, I'm sure that there are people who are Republicans, good Republicans, who have, if you went through their mortgage applications for the last 40 years, you would find a lot of them who checked the wrong box, the one that said, oh, you know what, I have two houses and I listed them both as a primary residence, which like everybody does, but they don't go after those people. You see what I'm saying?
Who are you referring to in this one?
Well, he's going after two people now. We just found out this week, and I don't even like this guy, Congressman Eric Swalwell. Had him on the show. I thought, wow, this guy is just way too hungry. Thirsty, I think the kids call
thirsty.
it.
The kids do say thirsty.
He's thirsty and just too left for me, like California and So, like, did I cry crocodile tears? No. But, like, he and Letitia James, I think, in New York, I mean, we're talking about checking the wrong box on a. If you're going to do that, let's go through everybody's mortgage, because I think you'll find some people on your side who might have done that.
I can promise you this. Our family has been scrutinized, attacked under a microscope. I would probably argue more than any family.
Well, of course, because your father-in-law is the president.
Yeah,
twice.
but it's not just that he's the president; it's that he's Donald Trump as the president. I
Well,
mean, they've gone after all of us in
They will
such
go after everybody.
an
on
aggressive way.
You know,
Well,
they didn't go after Obama and Clinton in an aggressive way. If you're,
not like this, Bill.
Oh, please.
Really? When did you see
Clinton?
Obama and Clinton's residences, personal private property, raided by the FBI? When did they have indictments against them to put them in jail for the rest of their life?
Well,
that everybody can agree were a little outrageous, Bill. Like, really?
I agree on the don't go into somebody's bathroom, but also you shouldn't probably keeping files in your bathroom. But yes, that was over the top.
It was a little over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah.
But if you're asking why they didn't go after Obama and Clinton for certain things, because Clinton and Obama never got on the phone and said, I need you to find me 11,000 votes. That is as close to a smoking gun as I can imagine for something that I would say, wait a second. I do agree we should give presidents broad latitude. We don't want to become those South American countries where you're just always putting the last guy in jail. I agree. But that one, come on. You just can't do that. You just can't call up a state after an election's over and say, look, you got to find me. You can't find votes. We vote, we tabulate them up, we count them, and then
no one knows this better than I do, because I was the co-chair of the RNC and I worked really hard on election integrity last year, Bill. I'll say that. What did you think of Tulsi Gabbard's report that came out about what Obama did, though, after the 2016 election?
What did he do?
When...
Oh, I know. He investigated.
He essentially made sure that Donald Trump was not only spied on, but also encouraged the Russia collusion hoax, which is written in textbooks around this country, that the reason that Donald Trump won the 2016 election was because Russia helped him win. Russia colluded with the Trump campaign. Do you know the saddest part of all of that to me, having worked as hard as we all did in that election and campaign? None of us knew anything about politics. We came in very green, very naive. There were so many staffers, people who really just believed in the cause, who were so hurt, had their lives destroyed because they had to lawyer up. They had to protect themselves and fight back and defend themselves from something that never even happened. And those are real problems as well. And unfortunately, there really hasn't been any sort of accountability for any of that, but it really tore our country apart. It really put a stain on so much of the first, administration.
Yes, but again, it's not like there wasn't smoke there that would make people think maybe we should investigate if there's a fire. I mean, I think it was your own husband who at one point said, we get most of our financing from Russia. It was either him or Don Jr. said that. It's a quote from them. It's
from the company?
No.
For the company or for the campaign?
This is before. This is like back, they said this back like in the early part of the century.
Okay.
You never were familiar with that? We get most of our financing from Russia.
So when you're talking about a company, but what happened during the campaign that made you think that there was some sort of collusion with Russia?
He said publicly, Russia, if you're listening, I mean, he said it out loud. I heard it.